Joined by Hofstra coach Frank Catalanotto following a doubleheader sweep at the hands of UNCW. Just coach, opening thoughts on today's games.
Yeah, some rough games. We're playing against a good team there. Wilmington's really, really good. They throw the ball well, and they defend well, and they get timely hitting. So, we had to play much better baseball if we're going to want to win the game. And the good thing is we have a chance to win the game tomorrow and salvage the series.
So Jackson Bauer went 4 2/3 innings today. What did you like? Did you like anything that you saw from Bauer today?
Yeah, early on, I thought he pitched really well. He was throwing strikes, keeping them off balance a little bit. He looked really good. One of his best starts that he's had. And then it kind of fell apart a little for him there late. But I was encouraged by how he threw pretty early in the game.
Coach, you guys were sort of off. You guys started off a little shaky the first game, and then sort of found your footing. What was the conversation like from game one going into game two?
Yeah, no, I just told them, like, hey, we can hang with this team. This team is good, but we just have to put together some good at bats, and when we get the opportunity with runners in scoring position, we've got to cash in. Offensively, I feel like we can hang with this team. It's just they, like I said, they don't make mistakes on the field defensively, and they do a good job pounding the strike zone, and it's a good team. But I feel like tomorrow this team will show up energized and ready to win the game.
Also, Dylan Palmer had a really good day in both games, going 4 for 10 combined. He has definitely been easily probably the best player on this team so far this year. And what causes him to play so hard every single game?
Well, that's just who he is. We've seen it from day one when he got here a few years ago. He's the same guy day in and day out. He has a lot of energy. He loves playing the game of baseball. He wants to be out on the field. He wants to be up in the big moment. And he puts together good at bats. He's always he puts the bat on the ball, and some of his hits aren't the most beautiful things in the world, choppers, infield hits. But he runs well, and when you put the ball in play, you give yourself a chance and you put some pressure on the defense. So I'm happy with how he's played this year.
So a lot of your freshmen that were in both games, of course, they were sort of struggling, somewhat getting frustrated, and then, like I mentioned in the second game, sort of found their footing and whatnot. How do you combat, like, if they're sort of somewhat discouraged, and how are you sort of lifting them up, as you said, for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, you've got to be positive, especially towards the younger guys. These kids are 18 years old, and they can get down on themselves pretty quickly. So you put a hand around the shoulder and let them know, hey, get them next time, or just some words of advice and let them know, like, hey, in this situation you may want to do this or do that. And I feel like instead of yelling and screaming at them, it's better to give them advice.
And then speaking of the freshman, a guy who made his return to a lineup today after a pretty lengthy absence, Jake Herring, and then he comes through with 2 RBIs in the game. What did you see from him in his first game back?
Yeah, Jake, he's a good player, and he's got good speed. He puts together good at bats. He's a baseball player, and we're happy to have him back. I think he's going to help contribute. I liked what I saw today. He got that big hit and drove in another run. I'm happy with him.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.